A powerful exhibition focused on opposition to New Zealand's involvement in the First World War has opened in Wellington today. About 300 conscientious objectors were jailed during the war and 14 were forcibly taken to the front. 4 were subjected to the notorious Field Punishment No. 1, which involved being tied to posts under fire on the front line. Our reporter Robin Martin has more.
In 1914, most New Zealanders supported the war. But when conscription was introduced in 1916, the true horror of the conflict was better known, and more than 32,000 men indicated they were unwilling to serve. Dissent, a different kind of courage, tells their story via a 10-minute audiovisual experience. The exhibition's creator, James McLean of Story Inc., says it attempts to capture the broad nature of opposition to the war.
There is some very famous people who were sent to the front and given this dreadful No. 1 field punishment, essentially tortured, but there are also ordinary soldiers who had great reservations about the war, and people at home, and also a really powerful Maori story of the iwi who objected to the war.
Mr McLean says it's essential to remember those who opposed the war as well as those who served.
I think it's really important that we do know these stories, and I don't think they're as well known as they should be. I think the people who objected were heroes in their own way. I mean, whatever you think of the politics of it, they were extremely brave people.
The exhibition uses extracts of letters written home by conscientious objectors and serving soldiers to help illustrate the story. Mark Briggs was subjected to Field Punishment No. 1 and was eventually so badly injured he was sent home.
The MP asked, "Are you going to walk now? Because if you're not, you're going into the shell hole." I replied, "I didn't know where I was going, but I wasn't going to walk there anyway." He immediately threw me into the shell hole and dragged me through the water. The MP said, "Drown yourself now, you bastard, if you want to die for your cause."
Briggs even refused to sign his release papers. Serving soldiers such as Private Alexander May, here writing to his brother from France, also had reservations about the war.
Dear John, just a few lines in answer to your letter, which I got a while ago. And to tell you to use your block, don't leave New Zealand. Swing the lead, take to the bush, but don't come across here.
Historian David Grant, who wrote Field Punishment No. 1, the definitive work on New Zealand's anti-militarist tradition, was at today's exhibition launch. He says it's long overdue.
First World War story was not just about the soldiers who went away to war and suffered terribly. It was also about the people who, for various reasons, resisted the war and resisted conscription, and their voice needs to be heard. Not just Archibald Baxter, who everyone knows about, but also all the other men who, for various reasons, opposed the war and opposed conscription.
Mr Grant did have some reservations, however.
I'd like to see it as part of the main exhibition, because I think the dissent story is part of a greater whole of the story of the New Zealand story of the First World War. And it's sad in a way that it's sort of split off from the main war story that's over there. But I think this is very important and overdue, and I'm delighted to see it, and they've done a very good job.
Dissent, a different kind of courage, runs at the Dominion Museum building alongside the Great War exhibition until October the 1st. In Wellington for Checkpoint, ko Robin Martin tēnei.